Hi, and welcome back to the course, R for Journalists. We are now going to talk about Git and GitHub. So by now, you've probably got a lot of files in your project folder. You got raw data, exploratory scripts, RMD, and HTML files. So Git is useful for version control, especially when working with teams or on big projects. And GitHub is useful because it's built on top of Git and lets the public download your files for free. So Git started out as a version control system, and has since been repurposed beyond software development by folks like us. So journalists use it for methodology, but also to share raw and summarized data. It's for teams to collaborate with. It might be tough to justify for someone to implement this into the workflow if they're working solo, but it's worth learning and figuring out because of the capabilities for communicating your analysis and for future collaboration. So you want to show off, collaborate. The R community is very active on GitHub. The more often you use it, the more often you can use others' code and data. It's easy to import from GitHub repos into your workflow. You've seen me bring in packages that were put up on GitHub. You've downloaded entire folders with class notes and data from GitHub based on with packages that people have created. It's simple to run Shiny apps locally with Run GitHub. I've included a link that's pretty cool up there. I'm gonna quickly run this. So just want to show you a quick example of someone just kind of sharing their workflow. It helps if they've made sure that all these particular packages are installable. I've already gone this far. I feel like I just need to get this through. Okay, what else is missing? Let's see. Finally. Okay, so this is great. This is what someone was shared up here. Alright, well, it's a nice thought. Apparently there's some issues with probably some data down here. Yep, aesthetics. There might be some issues. But but that's why it's important to kind of make sure your workflow can apply to other folks who might not have all the packages that you've got installed. You need to account for that and make sure you're clear with instructions on what to do if they run into particular errors. So, if you want, you can. There's not really many files for this particular chapter, but if you want, you can make sure you can run the code that's in the GitHub and on the class. So you've already installed Git on your Mac or PC, hopefully. I'm going to show you how to set up a folder to be recognized as a Git and to be tracked. Sure, download. I'm going to show you how to connect to GitHub, and then I'm going to show you how to publish it using GitHub Pages. All right. So first step, I'm going to show you how to make your folder sync. So let's start out with this theoretical folder I created called Extra, and it's got some data that I'm going to want to eventually. Let's say this project I'm going to set up. I'm going to do a bunch of analysis to it. and make visualization stuff. So first of all, we need to go to terminal. This is assuming you've already installed Git on Mac and PC. There's instructions on the website that if you haven't yet, but let's assume you already have that. So first, click on search and look for terminal. A good shortcut is to make sure this is, when you find terminal, to make sure you drag it to down here, so it's always accessible. So let's navigate to the desktop. CD desktop, CD extra, ls, list files, and I want to make sure I'm in the right place. I am. So we've installed Git, assuming, and you want to convert this directory to this extra directory. We've got our proj, turn that into a repository. So this means its contents and changes can be tracked after this point, after we initialize. So we're at the terminal. We want to create a new repository. We navigate to it. There's a list of good commands and a good guide for how to navigate to to the correct folder. But once you're in the right folder, which we are, then type in git. Let me zoom in. Git init period. So now you see the results: initialized empty git period in this folder extra, and it's not Git. So this tells Git to initialize a new repository in the current folder we're in, and everything in it, and that's represented by this period. So have you configured Git with your name and email yet? If not, it doesn't. If you've done it already, you can still do it again. So I'm going to do git config global user.email is me, and your email, this is a fake email, .com. And then you want to add git config global user.name, and then your name. Oops. Okay. I can just, let me do that one more time because I don't like that. Okay, so we've made sure we've got our username, we've got our email, and that we've initialized it. Next thing we need to do is we need to actually commit the work. Now that we've prepped the folder to be repo, now we need to actually commit the work. So, I mean, this is a way to start logging the work, and these are called commits. Though it's not required, it's a useful first step before committing your work is to check the status of your Git with the command git status. Oh, hold on. I'm in that. Let's get it out of there. So you want to always kind of make sure you're in your computer. And the $sign means this is the right terminal. So I'm going to do git status, and then it says I'm on the master branch. There are no commits yet. These are the files that it's noticed. Okay. So it knows that these files exist, but it's not tracking them for changes yet. So we need to add them to the things we want to track. So you have to type in git add period. So now when I do git status, it's there. It's now green. It says there are new files that you're tracking. So after we've added it, we need to commit it. So we do git commit, and every commit needs to be a message needs to be attached to it. So you do git commit space -m for message, and then whatever the message is. And this is going to be our first commit. And that's it. And so you see that. So now when we do git status, everything is clean, everything's committed, there's nothing new, no new changes yet. And that's it. For future commits, try to communicate what changes were made. So this is good for documentation for if you need to revert back to a previous version. Let's say you screwed up like 3 commits later, you can say, oh, I can go back to this version back when I didn't make that horrible decision. So get into the habit of adding and then committing frequently. So this can seem like a lot of work and typing at first, but it's really good practice to begin doing this. So remember, after you initialize a folder, the steps are to add the folders and then commit the folders. Add commit, add, commit. You can't commit until you've added first. Okay, you don't want to mess up the step process. Okay, so next we're going to talk about pushing these changes online to GitHub for sharing. All right, I'll see you in the next video.